It's a choice. All right, everyone, it is 5:30, so we are going to go ahead and get started and open up the floor for any other comments. Going once, not scared, going twice. Okay, no owner comments, so we will move on with the call to order. We do have enough for a quorum. I do want to mention that Lindsay Taylor is our new backfilling someone who can no longer be on the committee. She can only do Tuesday night meetings because of the way her work schedule is. So she did send comments in this case, and then possible we can try and move to Tuesday moving forward. So with that, I would like to open the floor to adopt the agenda and see if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns regarding the agenda that we have. With no comments or concerns, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Aye, second. Everyone in favor? Aye. All right, so we will move forward with our action items with approving of the meeting minutes. We've had a lot of workshops and one meeting, so this is going to be approving May, June, and July, which is a combination of one meeting and 2 workshops. All the minutes were submitted via email to committee members prior to this meeting. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Without any questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May, June, and July? Sure. All those in favor? Aye. All right. With that, we're going to move it on. Nikki, can we have a Parks and Recreation date, please?
So the athletic fields have been, you also have Tony that just logged.
Oh, hey, Tony.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would be there in person, but I just hung up a call at 5:30 and to get on this one, and I didn't want to miss a thing, so. I
No
thought I'd stay.
problem. Do you have the email that has the agenda and?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, Nikki, go ahead.
So we had the athletic fields closed, grass fields 1 and 2 for renovation. We just need to put additional sand on the fields. They should be open by the end of this week, but they look night and day. I don't have pictures with me right now, but I'll be happy to send it on to the committee. And once it's open, residents will get it in Monday Matters. As far as in-house programming, we have a porch and yard sale coming up on October 5th. So far, we've sold 42 tables, and on the map, 13 participants. Painting with a Twist, we have 6 participants as of right now for October 11th. Kids Night Out on October 18th, we have 18 participants. And then we have a trivia from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And we have a special edition for a boy band on September 18th. So that'll be at the Great Lawn.
For Kids Night Out, you said 18. What is the max we will take?
The max would be 40 participants.
Okay. And then the other question I have, the fields that they're done. I know that was a large investment. What was the cost? Do we know?
The invoice was $30,000. Both fields.
So that's a large investment and that's great.
Correct.
All right. Any other comments, questions for Nikki before we move on? Okay. Moving on to number 3, we have Celebration Foundation and Parks and Recs collaboration requests. Kathleen, I know you're here. Do you have any comments or anything before we move forward on that?
I think I just, maybe, I don't think we talked about Buddy the Elf.
Oh, yes. So,
That's
so
my only addition.
Okay.
So for December 7th and 8th, the Celebration Foundation reached out to do the holiday home tours at Island Village Clubhouse. And we were trying to find a way to maybe have a partnership with Town Hall and Foundation. So we asked if potentially on November 21st at the Island Village Clubhouse, if they wanted to sponsor like a pop-up event for all residents to attend. It would be basically decorating a Christmas tree where they would provide all the ornaments, cookies, and milk Ornament or residents can like write their names on the ornament. So it'd basically be like a community tree. And they would decorate the venue for us. And then as a thank you for the 7th and 8th, they can use Island Village Clubhouse. And that's like a stop on the tour. And basically the community tree would be up. So residents or whoever's visiting can actually see the venue. This is something kind of new that we usually have. Usually people come over here to waive fees. So we were asking potentially a partnership, but we wanted to bring it to the Recreation Committee for approval.
Open for discussion, thoughts? Concerns? Parking. What has been the experience with parking near the Island Village Clubhouse thus far?
I'll be honest, it
Yeah.
horrendous.
Okay. Elaborate.
There are approximately 10 to 12 spaces in the lot. 2 or 3 of which are designated for electric vehicles only. Because the residents from the apartments also park on that one street, there are basically in front of the clubhouse, 10 spots. People get very upset when the cars up and down that back street. It's narrow, it's difficult to get through. People can't park in front of their own homes. I mean, I live there too. I have to walk through the parking lot. I don't experience that. But I have a lot of friends who live right over there, and let me tell you, it never ends with the convention.
Okay.
Understandable, but it's like, what do you want to do? It's one day, deal with it. So you will get some
Feedback.
flat back, yeah.
Yeah, been no different than any other big event that we have here in celebration for Christmas. So see why. Just one day would have been a big deal.
There's parking, you're saying there's parking issues in it, so
Every time.
it's not
Oh,
the,
it's not, yeah. I don't know, can't speak for the rest of your village.
I can say last year my home was on the holiday home tour. And on average, not that I stood out there and counted, so let's give that caveat, we're looking at about 20, 25 cars max at a time that's coming through. Because it is groups in the cars that come through, so.
I mean, it would be beautiful to have it in there. It's a beautiful space. You know, to be, you know, when I go over there, they say, oh, look, our community did this, it's so nice. They're all about the holidays too.
Tony, any comments?
No, I guess Island Village is, everybody wants to enjoy it, right? Everybody wants to be there and, I worry that it's only gonna get progressively worse. Do you guys think that's true?
Oh, yeah.
Worse than as in the amount of requests wanting to be there?
Yeah. And the traffic flow and the parking situation and everything else.
Especially with all the construction vehicles coming through.
Yeah.
Every day from 7 a.m. on. The stores, the retail are about to open up.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna be loving the coffee, Don Andrus, ice cream. And I'm personally already concerned about not being able to park in front of my house, because I'm 2 blocks away.
The town's excited for this.
Yeah, I know it's great, I can create, but I can walk down,
Right,
you know.
yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, or concerns before voting?
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm voting on because the meeting did start at 5:30, right? Because you guys seem to be pretty advanced. I think I came on at 5:33. You guys were already pretty far advanced, unless the meeting started earlier and I wasn't aware of it.
No, we didn't have any owner comments, so we jumped right into the agenda at like 5:31 without them comments.
Beautiful. So what is it that we're actually voting on now?
So there was a form in that email that said Island Village Clubhouse with Celebration Foundation.
Good,
And they
okay.
are asking to use the Island Village Clubhouse to be a stop on the holiday home tour.
Right,
With
okay.
approximately 2,000 people between the 7th and the 8th. Attendees will need to be able to use bathrooms. We'll also have cookies and water for sale.
And
You know,
it's
I read that. I read that. I just wanted to make sure that that's the one that we were talking about. I did
Yeah,
read.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, that's.
No, no,
what
no.
we're
But so I think, I don't know who said it, but I agreed with the comment about it's, it's kind of the holidays is it's one day or 2 days. It's not a forever thing. I think of it as, I think about, one of the beautiful things about celebration, we attract a lot of people, right? One of the not so nice things about celebration is we attract a lot of people. So, when Halloween comes around, who wants to leave their house to walk downtown, right? So I don't know how others feel about it, but I think it sounds like something that we should probably allow. I- So
So then
I
we
don't know.
will accept all those in favor of approving the facility and equipment rental application for Island Village Clubhouse for our Celebration Foundation. Do I have a motion to grant it? Motion Gloria, second.
second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm unanimous on that. Moving on to number 4, we have Osceola Sheriff's Office for the community complex field rental for a field request and a fee waiver. Officer, so you hear something you will say?
I'm just here to answer any questions. I'm actually Sergeant Romo with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. I'm in charge of the PAL division of Police Athletic League and talk about all the divisions, but I'm here to answer any questions and see if you have any questions in reference to what we requested in the appeal.
Okay. So you have the community complex field application that is in here. It's a 2-page. I'm going to open the floor up for any questions, comments, or concerns.
Specifically, what is it for? It's for,
But it basically is for our 4 annual donor poll, where we actually have agencies from all Central Florida that compete for free. It's all to gain money for our PAL division. Our PAL division is all 501(c)(3), so the taxpayers don't pay for anything. Our PAL basically is a police athletic league. We pay for sports for kids, for everything, free, so they don't pay a cent. So this is basically to gain more money, in order to keep it going, basically.
so specifically, what sports do you donate to?
I'm sorry?
What sports do you donate to? Like youth sport, you're talking.
We do it all, everything. We've been doing jujitsu, soccer, flag football, we can do baseball, you name it. We have done everything. It's actually on our website. I do have a pamphlet so you can see all the pictures. The recent one that we did it with jujitsu for 2 days. We do clinics, you name it, we do it. We have actually done basketball clinics with Osceola Magics. We did baseball one time with professional baseball players, actually, that we brought them in to actually teach the kids and stuff like that. So everything is for free. So we actually provide the uniforms, the shirts, the hats, if we have to, all the equipment. This is the money that we utilize in order to keep that going in the community and stuff like that.
So which community, like in Celebration and?
So all the whole county. So we actually provide this sports and stuff like that for the whole county. Everybody, every time that we do sports, we put it out there. We put them on the website. They come from all over.
Is the
It sounds right.
fee, is the fee that we would be waiving as part of the request, is that considered or can be considered, or would it be considered for celebration a donation?
Yes, I can do that. It's 100%. You guys give us whatever it's gonna cost for the actual fee, and I'll, based on our 501(c), we'll get you a receipt for the donation. You guys can use that for your taxes and deductions.
Of it's be a write-off.
That's
You're right.
correct.
It wouldn't be a donation, it'd be a write-off.
Yep.
And my concern is because the sheriff's office is an elected position.
Mhm.
If we, I don't feel right about just waiving a fee for a politically elected office, just as I didn't feel comfortable about it. Peggy Chaudhry wanted to have something on here and not, and she wanted the fees waived. I don't think it's a good precedent. Although the PAL is a beautiful, wonderful organization, we utilized it when we were kids. I just feel comfortable about it.
I have very similar concerns. I have 3 concerns that are there. So, as you mentioned, Peggy Chowdhury asked for this August 14th, and it was an immediate need, so it did not come before the Recreation Committee. It went immediately to CROA. It was unanimously voted not to proceed with that for multiple reasons. One being the wear and tear on facilities. These are facilities that are paid for by a homeowners association and not by the county for that. And that there is a huge concern right now amongst residents of trying to get everything back up to speed and not opening it up for more significant wear and tear. The second concern of it was to what you said, there is a political piece that goes with this. The sheriff is currently running for election this year, and the town had very strong feelings. That's once you do this for one person in office, you're going to have to do this for multiple people in office, whether you choose to vote for them or not. Once we open up the door for that, we'll need to be consistent with that. The third one is there were multiple comments, not only from CROA, but also via Facebook pages and emails going around with residents that were very concerned about getting involved politically and being responsible to pay for stuff. Even though, so waiving the fee would be one thing, whether it's a tax write-off or not, there's a lot of wear and tear with that. Even if they paid for it, there is multiple things that go with this. How many attends? Will other political people be coming and doing tents? There's mention of multiple, the stage and the speakers. I personally have attended this event before. There's a stage trailer that comes. There's multiple cars that are wrapped that would come, and they have that set up, as well as we're inviting a lot of the town, a lot of the county to come into the town, into that area. And we don't know what traffic will look like for that area. I do want to say that PAL did sponsor the Osceola Defenders, which was 80% Celebration residents, which was a girls flag football team. And they did pull funding for that in the past year. So I do think there are residents that would be concerned on why we are waiving fees when they just pulled funding for something that benefit multiple Celebration residents.
So none of the funds that are raised would go to any sports teams in Celebration?
Any, all the sports that we have, like I said, if we have members from Celebration assisting any of our sports, like she said, we have the Defenders for the longest. We got a lot of members from the Defenders. They actually got a school scholarship, stuff like that. We got about, I think, a total of 7 or 8.
There were 7 scholarships.
Yeah, 7.
And at least
Uh,
funding.
they still kind of like, they're doing another stuff with one of our guys. I believe the coach at the time was Ethan Fournier. He's still the coach. He still actually coaches for them, but they're playing in a different league or something else, and they still get money from the PAL Division 2, and they will be getting money from us later on, which is actually still members from Celebration, which I was actually discussing that recently for Ethan. And the fact of the political stuff, I understand that it has happened for 4 years in a row. I understand that the timing is wrong because it's probably happening at the elections, but this is before. And political people, the people that come in is basically all the departments, chief of police and things like that. It could be the sheriff from Orange County coming over here. They all come over here together just to get money for the cost. Like they support us and we support them with other events they have. But I don't think it's like, for people over there just to put their stuff over there, vote for me or anything like that. Has none of that stuff in there. It hasn't happened in 4 years, the last 3 years. So I don't think that's the reason for this.
So there would be no political tents or anything that are there?
No, people, no, tents whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's only the sheriff tents, the PAL, actually, we don't have our 100%. It would not
But it would be,
but-
so that would be something that we can stipulate right here, right? That there would be no, right, that would not be part of it. I mean, I know it's not necessarily spelled out, but it could be, right? We could
I
spell
think
that
the
out.
funding, I'm gonna wonder why Celebration approved it for one and not the other.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
This one for me, this one
just
for
don't
me
think
is,
we're consistent then.
Do you have any, what percentage of Celebration residents participate in the PAL program?
Right now, the Defenders were actually the first ones that we did. If you guys can talk.
Small percentage of Celebration.
Not really. Also, we have all the Boy Scouts with Greg Felix, whatever like that. I think you guys know him. I think he's part of the other work here. And he can actually testify to what we do with them. We have about 100 and something other Boy Scouts here, we're gonna actually have an event coming up at the Rock Church, and they're gonna be there, all 100 and plus, they all live here too.
An example, there are 2,000 participants now, and only 200 that come from celebration.
Mhm.
That's a very small percentage,
Well, it could be a bit small percentage, because we cover the whole county. I can tell you that we cover the whole county.
so
We provide services to the whole county, not just celebrating, so I will say yes. You know, the only ones that we have actually sponsored, we have teams like that, has actually come from here so far. And the reason for it was because everybody was kind of like living in this area at the time, like the flag football. And that's how we ended up, and we did it for about 2.5 years, we're doing it. And we have to do more sports all over the place just to extend it to the, for the sheriff office, it's a process for the whole county.
I think to Nikki's comment, we just paid $30,000 to redo this.
yeah.
And opening it up for wear and tear, opening it up for an accident.
How long is the event?
The
It's only one
event goes from it goes from 5:30 AM until 3:30 PM.
And then how many people are actually participating in the games?
Looking at 100 participants and 100 spectators and 100 vehicles, but that vehicle doesn't match up if you're having 100 participants and 100 spectators.
The
That's
vehicles are outside the game, or they're coming onto the field.
No, they're not
to
coming.
be outside. Remember, they also stage the cars and stuff that are there too.
On the field.
No, in the front and the parking lots. The parking lot will be.
I'm sorry, they're all adults.
Oh, yeah, they're all sheriff office, police officer, fire departments, everything. That's what we're competing against. So that's what we'll be providing. As you can imagine, on traffic, everybody will be there,
Yeah.
doing traffic and security, you name it.
How do we typically deal with, this one is a tough one, right? Because, look, in uniform should get our support. Law enforcement should get our support. All these kind of agencies should get our support. I understand the political environment that we're in. I sure hope we can find a way to set that aside, because this is about the kids and not about politics. But then I hear the number 100, and I don't think that's a very significant number. So I know I've heard, and I'm not sure who's mentioning it because it's hard for me to tell, the wear and tear. But are we really concerned that 100 people would cause that much wear and tear? Because if that's the case, we have a different situation with that particular area, don't we?
They are all adults and they're wearing cleats. We just had this done. I think there is concern about that. And it's,
Yeah, and I'm not arguing that.
yeah, no,
I'm just-
absolutely. You're looking at 10 hours of consistency on there. So,
Yeah, okay.
no, I think those are valid points. My concern is consistency, knowing that CROA just said, Nikki, once this is voted on, does it go to CROA to make the final decision? Or are we making the final decision?
As a committee, you would make the final decision. I did tell Celia moving forward, if the board wants to, vote, if there's like a certain amount, like a percentage of like, if it's $1,000 or less, it could be approved by the committee. If that would more, we waive to go to the board. So that's the board's decision.
I love Celia.
I'm sorry to ask another question. How is it?
I think Charles is online.
Oh, Charles, are you
Hey.
online?
Hi, I'm on.
Okay.
Sorry.
So knowing that CROA voted no unanimously previously, how does this compare to this? Do you feel we're comparing apples and oranges, apples and apples?
I mean, ultimately, the committee's position, I'll speak for myself, and I think I can speak with confidence for certainly a majority of the board. We'll follow generally the committee's direction and position on the topic. I know that was the committee's direction through some of the discussion around the other event. So again, based on your interpretation of the guidelines, and certainly consistency is an important part of the application. So, I mean, everything that I've heard is fairly consistent, and I certainly appreciate the dialogue. But again, the general process is the committee will hear it, determine the position if it wants to approve it or decline it. And then generally it wouldn't go to the board. That's my understanding. I think the reason why it came to the board was because of the timing, was because it came in after the committee had already met and it needed to get to the board for a final decision.
Any other questions, comments for Charles?
The question I still have is on the, back to the damage, which makes perfect sense with that many people and cleats and so forth and so on. How do we cover that for other, how would we cover that for other similar requests that might come in the future? How do we cover for damages generally? I mean, is there, obviously there would be some way to recover the cost of repairs and so forth?
We have not had any other tournaments. When was the last tournament that we've had? A couple of years
I would say, yeah, it's about 1.5 to 2 years ago. There was a tournament at the athletic complex that turned into a fight, unfortunately. So we decided to withhold any tournaments until further notice.
So we haven't had tournaments. It's just been for recreational league use here in town. I think one of the litmus tests is, in the end, how does this benefit Celebration if Celebration homeowners are paying for it? County wasn't paid for it. So as long as we could tell residents how this is going to benefit them using and waiving fees, using their money for, wear and tear on it and waiving any fees, I think that should be the litmus test, and also being consistent with past decisions.
Which is why I asked about the dimensions.
Yeah, and so again, sorry to be obtuse about this, but in the event that there would be damage in any other type of event, how do we recover that typically?
No, you'd have to incur the cost of fixing
We pay
it
for
as
it.
an association.
Even if, say, a group, like if any of our requests, when somebody borrows or wants to use a space that belongs to and they pay their fees, isn't there a way for us to get money if they damage the space that they're using?
Past, we have paid for it as an homeowner association.
And if
I
it's
see.
in a building, don't we take a security deposit?
There is a security deposit, which is 1,000.
Okay,
I don't think the issue is so much damage as it is wear and tear.
yeah, got it.
If someone's paying for the venue, they wear and tear, that's what the money's for, is to take
Yeah.
care of it. Just get it for free. They worry for fix it. To make it, make it like it was before they used it.
I think if it was a county-run facility, I would have different feelings. But because it's a homeowners association paid for.
Yep. In terms of benefit, to play a little bit of that side, in terms of benefit to the community, while it doesn't serve many of the residents of the community, and this is really esoteric, but essentially Celebration being seen as a pillar in the general county community and sort of the town, if you will. The goodwill that it creates, certainly with the department and the community at large, that would be a benefit, but of course, there's no price on that. And
It is displacing a community recreational league in this case. There was a question asked to Margo if you would do that, and it's willing. But it is displacing what the soccer games that are normally held there on Saturday.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Then I'm going to open it up. Do we have a motion to approve the Celebration Community Field Complex rental to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office? All those in favor? All those declined? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to number 5, Embrace of Celebration Music Festival Equipment Waiver Request. I do have a comment from Lindsay on this one that I would like to read.
Excuse me, a quick question, I do apologize. There were 2 items, I just want to make sure. One was just to use the field and to waive the fees. So it's like you guys are saying no waiving the fees or on everything?
We can clarify that. Let's revoke. Do we have a motion to waive the fees? All those in favor? All those declined?
Uh,
Okay. in the matter of being able to use the facility. Do we have a motion to move forward? All those in favor to move forward with using the field? All those decline, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so,
Two of them.
okay,
All right, thank you guys for your time. We're gonna,
thank you.
we were confused. For some reason, we already announced everybody that we were gonna have the field. We were only trying to discuss the fees. So we were willing to pay the fees for the thing, so now we're gonna have to change everything again. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Moving on to number 5, the comment from Lindsay. I feel like we need to get further guidance from Finance Committee and the board as to how fee waivers impact homeowners. We took a lot of time updating the rental structure, and it does have provisions in it for nonprofit groups. I feel better about waiving fees for something that has zero impact on our resources, such as no labor or equipment, et cetera. But when it comes to wear and tear and labor costs, I feel like we need more guidance. One of the biggest complaints I've heard in the last few years is the state of disrepair when it comes to our amenities. With the fees that we are potentially waiving contribute towards maintenance and updates, including on equipment, not only facilities. I think we really need to be careful moving forward about trying to be good stewards of our resources and providing opportunities to increase the value of our amenities. And that is for number 5. Do remind me, I have a different comment for number 6. So, okay. Embrace of Celebration Music Festival, equipment waiver request.
So, Victoria, if I could chime in, so,
Yeah,
in everyone's packet, Tony, it's the sponsorship form that we all got. So we approved, Celebration Embrace Music Festival already. They're gonna be paying facility fees. However, they reached out to see if we can waive the equipment fees. So what you would be waiving is 200 white chairs, 26 6-foot rectangular tables, 8 10 by 10 tents, 17 round tables. They're the smaller ones for the outdoor events. For a 4-piece stage, which is a 4x6 panel, and 3 white coolers. The total of that normally, if we rented that out, would be $1,580.
and what level of sponsor are we for this blue sheet?
We basically would be the rock star level, which would be social media and Embrace News on the event poster and on the event t-shirt.
And was the facility fee waived?
The facility fee was not waived.
Okay.
They're asking for the equipment fees to be waived. Just keep in mind, we did waive the superhero 5Ks fees in order to be a sponsor as well. So if we want to line up with everyone else, at least for this year, we did waive fees to be a sponsor for at least
Did
this year.
superhero pay facility fee?
They paid the facility. fee.
Okay, so those are consistent across the board.
Correct.
Okay.
They will be required to pay staff time now.
So this is equipment only, not staff
Correct.
time, not facility.
Correct, just-
Could I ask a question? When they, because I suspect we're gonna get a lot of such requests of waiving fees. It is what it is. But can we waive a percent of the fee? Does it have to be all or nothing?
You could waive a percentage
Yeah.
as the committee. Yep.
Yeah,
I just think that if we're gonna be consistent, let's be consistent, right? I guess going forward, we ought to be consistent in charging everyone rather than waiving everyone. So, but that's the capitalist in me, for the organization, but if we're gonna waive it, maybe we waive 50% or something less than 100.
well, they do get a discount on the fees because they are a non-for-profit. So the last year's committee set up fees not only for facilities, and I'll call it a destination in it. They also set up fees for equipment and labor, whether you are a Celebration resident or non-resident, and then whether you are for-profit or non-for-profit. So when you chart all that out, wherever you add in the chart, that's where that costs come from. So to some degree, there is a percentage already coming off in this case for Embrace. Nikki, does that bill that you gave us include,
That is the 20%.
that includes the 20% off?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so that is with 20% off already. So
Okay.
whatever else we would do would be an additional percentage if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah.
I will open it up for comments.
So I'm pretty new at this. I would love to hear others who've kind of been through this um, many times before. What do we generally do with these requests?
Well, the truth was at the time we were waiving everything. And that's where we wanted to be good partners. We wanted to work with different communities and we're getting hit from everything, not only within our town, but even as we just saw within the county. Everybody's wanting to come here. There's high concern about damage. There's high concern about wear and tear. And that's for the sliding scale. You know, if you are a community resident, you get the best deal. If you're not a community resident, and then if you are a non-for-profit, you get a discount off of that. That's kind of where this came into it, saying, hey, we've laid out this groundwork. What would be the reason that we would shy away from this groundwork? So we really did try to make it a sliding scale based on the need of the program. So that's the past history of it. And then this is really the first go around, I would say, that we've been hit with waiver requests since then, because it got approved in February. Am I lying? Is it February? Okay.
I believe February.
Okay, February, March, somewhere in there. So that's where the sliding scale came into.
Yeah.
And then we've had a whole bunch of workshops and now here we are today.
I think it's fair to say, right, that the community, as a community, we have to face the fact as a community that we're an aging community and that our neighborhood is going to be requiring increased maintenance and support and financials. And that's just a fact, right? And so I guess, I hate to sound like an ogre, but we ought to be, I suppose, trying to be as fiscally conservative, pardon the pun, in these, politically charged days. I don't mean it in a Republican or Democrat way, but I mean it in just a money way to support
Right.
our community. And so I would be in favor of saying, gosh, you're already getting a discount. Now we're going to stick to it. Thank you. And we're going to charge you. Or if that's too severe, then I would suggest we give them another 30% to add it to 50% of the total as a discount rather than 100%.
Someone here from the breaks.
I've worked that event before. I don't know if we've waived the stage before. Other groups have got the stage, but the stage is very difficult for the team. It's heavy, it's dangerous, and this event creates a lot of traffic on the Great Lawn, making the Great Lawn look bad for a week, and there's a lot of pickup. So we were just talking usage for the sheriff, but there's a lot of wear and tear for the sheriff, and a lot of wear and tear on this field. Can get wear and tear.
Charge, right? So that's that would offset whatever.
It's a great event. I mean, it's great people. They do great things, but there's the wear and tear, and the stage is big.
I just feel that once we start going from 20 to 50 or 20 to 40 or whatever it is, I just feel that that's a downhill slope. Well, you did it for them. And if we really talk about this committee's focus to try and be consistent, then we have a consistent template in place.
Considering they've already gotten a discount, I think it should stand the way it is.
Any other comments? Do I have a motion to approve waiving the equipment fee for Embrace of Celebration Music Festival? All those in favor? All those who decline?
Aye.
Moving on to 6, I will read.
Was that unanimous? I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. Was that a unanimous vote or?
That's unanimous, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. 6, this is for 6 through 9, actually. My concern with any new clubs is that we are currently stretched incredibly thin space-wise, and we honestly have no idea what the future holds. The master planning group meeting is tomorrow, so hopefully we will have some more answers soon. But I'm very hesitant to add additional clubs when we currently can't guarantee space to the current existing clubs as is right now. The committee always has great discussion and I support them fully whatever is decided. Just a few points that I wanted to bring up. Lindsay Taylor. So we have Mahjong.
Which is existing.
Are they new or existing?
This would be new, at least for town hall. They play over at the Arson Park Clubhouse. Sometimes they get moved out of that location. There's like a private event. So I told them in order to utilize Crow facilities in the near future for an alternative location, you would need to submit an application. So this is only if they get relocated from the Arson Park Clubhouse.
So this is truly to make them a club.
Correct, yes.
The other thing that I want to point out, when we set up that framework, when it comes to clubs, we gave them 2 hours a month and free rental for whatever that is. But then we also talked about 2 weeks out, they can make any request. And if it's available, we'll try to grant it in order with the thought process that we want to encourage more camaraderie and events and things to do within town. So if they are a club, that does give them the ability to request 2 weeks out, even if right now we have to say to them, we're out of space, just because of town hall being down. So
Is there a minimum requirement of number of members for us to consider being a club?
there was, I don't remember what the criteria, but at the time we went through what was 80, and can keep me honest on this. We did a definition for everything, whether you are a club, or whether you are a town government such as CROA or this committee or any committee, whether you are a partner program, which is a program here in town that monthly pays fees and has set designated time and space. There was non-for-profit in there. There was education. There was club.
Yep.
Have it here.
But I don't think in those, I read that, but I don't think it shows, at least maybe I missed it. I don't think it shows a minimum number of people.
It does not say, the definition of a club for this is a social organization or group of individuals who come together for a common purpose or shared interest, and which often provides comfort, support, encouragement, and advice. Clubs play a significant role in connecting people with similar passions or goals and fostering a sense of community, whether it's a sports club, hobby group, professional association, support group, or support group. These organizations often have specific rules and structures to help them facilitate their activities and missions. Members of clubs often benefit from camaraderie and opportunities for learning and growth that come from participating in such an organized gathering. Each organization may choose to collect dues from their members to support specific activities, trips, or the general functioning of their organization. But Tony, to answer your question, no number.
Yeah. And
This is
given,
the existing group that's been here. They're just getting in case they.
Yeah.
This is just a group that needs a plan B.
Question though, when they say town hall, they mean town hall or the new town?
For a location, when they submitted this is when town hall.
Town hall was
Before
Correct, yeah.
So then,
So,
if it's currently not.
so it would be like an alternative location, whether that's a CCSC meeting room, Heritage Hall, Jones Rooms, we would just find a space.
Whoever's available.
Correct.
How often do they get burned out of the Harvest Park? They get moved from Harvest Park.
So they meet weekly on Wednesdays. Their group is 20 to 25 on average. They're very organized and it's rare, I'd say. And sometimes it's known in advance. If they have a private booking for the room far out, they'll let the know, and sometimes short notice.
So this means we help them out if we can. It doesn't guarantee space.
No.
That's the way I understand it.
To get like time, just give it as a caveat if it's available.
They're
Sure.
good for a year.
What were their times that they like to play?
Midday.
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah.
it's new.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve Celebration Mahjong as a club?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm unanimous on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next club, which is Cassidy Sports Contract Extension. Their contract is in your packet. My understanding, what is different about this is at the time when this contract was originally made in 2021, we had, I'll use the word control lightly, of the baseball fields at K8, being field 1 and field 2. Those are no longer a CROA facility. So that does not mean those baseball fields. So it would be other locations through town, such as the field / over by Circle Pool, depending what you call them, there, lacrosse field, it has lots of names. So that could be one of them, really any other field that is CROA run in town. So this would be to extend it through the end of 2024, being December 31st, 2024. And it would be extending it from October 1st to that time. But again, this is different from that contract as it does not include field 1 or field 2 at Celebration K8. I will open it up for any questions, comments, or concerns.
Okay, I'm sorry, so
Cassidy Sports is a travel baseball team. And they are not a 501c. They are a for-profit, is my understanding.
And we do have a Little League that utilizes the East Village open field as well. That would probably be like the only baseball field I guess they would be able to utilize. I mean, they could technically utilize this backfield if they're just trying to like work on throws and whatnot. But there may be a clash or a conflict with Little League because they do try to practice Monday through Fridays.
And Little League does take precedence because they are considered a partner program.
That's correct, yes.
So in the level of it, they're higher.
talking about wear and tear on fields and that kind of thing, and this is for profit. They're paying us, they get paid somewhere else.
This is paying us.
They would pay 20%.
And how do they request the space? So what does that do to Grand Manners as far as work that would go for approval when they go to Danny in this case?
So they would request it at least a month in advance. You know, this may be honestly a short time request, but they would say from October 1st, if approved, till December, we want these fields Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then that's when we reserve it. A month into their program, we would get their roster, whether they're residents or non-residents, determine that 50%. And then how much money they collect, we get 20% of the.
So it's not a set price.
It's not a set price right now. No, this would be an extension to what they use to provide us.
But do they typically have 51 majority?
So,
Celebration.
well, they normally have 28 participants, and then they have, it was $560 that CROA usually gets.
How many times do they practice a week?
Well, they try to do like a Monday through Friday thing as well.
Was it every day?
It could be every day, yes, but I'm not sure what they're looking at for at least.
Also be part of the league.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get first, however, Little League. Little League would get it first because that's where they are in the ranking.
Yeah, correct.
So
How
it's like.
much is that charged to be in the league? Did they tell you that? Charge?
He previously told me, I think it's like 150. I could be wrong. I think it's for the season. I don't have that number with me right now.
But Little League practices 5 days a week. And they want to practice 5 days a week.
No, you gotta get to Little League Cups, that's, yeah.
Right.
And it's not just that it'd be after school, it's not like one morning and one afternoon.
When does Little League start again?
It should be September, yeah.
Yeah, September.
Next month.
It goes to like, what, December?
In November, I believe.
It's normally the week after Thanksgiving. Based on rain. So that gives you, which the way it's been lately, will go till June, but, yeah. So, yeah, so depending for makeup games. But the spring season would start in February, so they have to be done by then.
Has there been a conflict in the past with Little League and this travel team? Like, has there been an issue like, oh,
No, because usually Little League got priority and they would just either play Saturdays or Sundays.
And have we had any trouble with payment?
Well, they've been using the K3 facility. They've been having issues with the school. That's why you're seeing some applications like Little League come through as well as Cassie Sports. That's why they're trying to come back to you on some
Oh, they're not having success. Okay. Do we have trouble collecting the money? What's due?
I will say Cassie Sports, we do have issues. It's kind of like pulling teeth.
Now they want to come back, not using it, like last year they used the fields.
They used kids.
They fields. Okay.
We're having trouble collecting. Yeah. Tony, what do you think?
And this is a tough one. There, I don't have a real strong opinion on it, other than I hate to see little kids, not have what they need. But if they're having trouble and we're having trouble collecting from them, I guess I'm not inclined to be too generous towards a group that's already having trouble with us.
I can say in the past, Reese has asked that question about other groups, including partner programs, and that has played weight on the decision. And anybody who is in Cassidy can play with Little League. So they do get to play baseball.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Matter of fact, many of them are in both. If you're in Little League, you're normally in a travel team. You're not just travel team alone. So, all right, any other questions, comments, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve the contract extension agreement for Cassidy Sports Academy? All those in favor? All those who decline?
Aye.
Unanimous on that to decline. Moving on to club request of Toast of Celebration. This is a Toastmasters group, a nonprofit educational organization that builds confidence and teaches public speaking through clubs. This is a monthly basis.
We actually have Joe. Right now. It's part of- In case you have. It's brand new.
This is a new club, right?
You guys utilize the library, correct?
Yeah, so yeah, like you mentioned, Toastmasters, public speaking, leadership for ages 16 and up. We've been currently meeting in the Osceola Library for several years. The problem is that we have about 20 people who attend, and the room it's very, very tight. And also, we frequently get bumped at. So we're looking for a very consistent place. We did have an article in the Celebration News magazine, I think back in March or April of this year. We're planning to have another article in Celebration News magazine this coming up probably October, because there are a number of Celebration residents who do attend the Toastmasters meeting at Osceola Library. But again, the big issue is just having a consistent place. We're pretty flexible. We only need a space for about 20 people. I don't know if there's a school or one of the facilities like this, but I'm representing Jimmy Boyka, who is the resident of Celebration, asked me to fill in. He's traveling. So I'm happy to answer the questions. I don't think there's a lot of wear and tear. We just kind of come and sit in the chair.
No, that's fair. I think one of the concerns that I have is this says every Tuesday from 18:30 to 20:30. So that's 2 hours a week. The club usage that we allow are 2 hours a month. And then I guess one of the questions that I would ask Grand Manners is, without town hall, do we really have space? I don't want to commit to something if we can't accommodate it.
As far as a weekly, we are running out of space. The only space we would have is like outdoor North Village Pavilion. You're looking for indoor space. We're already having issues with our recreational partner programs that are leaving that do provide revenue to the program. So we are running out of space.
I don't have a problem with this being a club. I have a problem with us being able to look you in the eye and say we can do it.
Sure, with the space issue. We are flexible with the night of the week and the time. Currently, we have been meeting at the library 6:45 to 8, so about an hour and 15 minutes. I think we could be flexible with the night of the week and the time, like whether it's 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or the 8 to 9, whatever. So I'll just.
But is the request for it, if I understood it correctly, weekly, right? And which
It is a week, yeah, so Toastmasters, for those who are not familiar with it, it's kind of like Rotary, there's about 14,000 clubs in 150 countries. And the format is an hour meeting, a weekly hour meeting.
Yeah, and is it the same membership that typically shows up and I'm pretty familiar with Toastmasters in general, but I've never been a part of it. But is it the same members that attend, or is it always different people showing up to those different? Because I'm just thinking,
It's the same members, they pay a membership, every 6 months, you pay a membership. And some people stay members for years, some people are a member for 2 years, some people are a member for 6 months. But if you pay, some people will pay the membership and then go to 6 or 8 meetings and decide it's not for them. That's their decision, but it's not a free-for-all. There is an open house for those who might be interested in learning more. There is going to be an open house at the Osceola Library, Tuesday, September 17th. Again, I just want to hammer the purpose of it is actually quite relevant to this meeting. It's how to speak in public, how to conduct meetings. I was impressed that this group started right on time. Toastmasters always starts right on time. They end right on time. It's leadership skills, public speaking, organizational, setting goals, meeting the goal, blah, blah, blah. So.
well, you had me at hello, because ever since I retired from my corporate life, that's what I do for a living, is give speeches and do, that sort of thing. So, but I'm just concerned. I think it was already voiced that it's a lot of us to commit that much space for that much time every month. So I
Yeah,
wonder.
I understand if there's no space, there's no space. Yeah.
I mean,
You can't create space that's not there.
it could be something where 2 weeks out, they could request. And if there's a space, we could accommodate it. But I do want to also note that for the club, 1 week would be free. And there would be a charge for the other 3 weeks, sometimes 4, based on you only get 2 free weeks a month. But if they ask within 2 weeks, how does that work?
We could accommodate them.
We can accommodate. I thought if we had space within 2 weeks, we could accommodate for free.
You said, for clubs that charge, but I'm not sure if that was a monthly fee. If it's like a flat rate for the whole year, that's something as a committee you can decide. I think this would be great for the community, so I wouldn't mind this organization reaching out, provide a 2 week availability.
I think we could do a test trial, like, try to help. We don't know that we can.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't want to oversell. I think it's so relevant. It's such a benefit to the residents of Celebration, because it really, please go to the website, look very carefully. The organization is about 100 years old. It started in the 1920s. Let's say 14,000, 150 countries, very well established. And I think it really, I've been a member of Toastmasters since the year 2000. Pretty
I think
consistent.
I don't think
And-
I don't think you have to sell it very much. It's a very recognized organization.
Yeah, I totally get it.
It's quite
Yeah.
recognizable. It's very respected, and
Yeah.
And it should be endorsed.
Okay, I have a suggestion. Unless the weather is horrific, there is a screened-in porch area on the Island Village clubhouse that is open
That's
to
it.
anybody.
Yeah, that may work
who wants to
actually.
use it.
Yeah.
I would still call because we do have private functions that book at the clubhouse.
Yes,
So,
no, absolutely.
yeah, just definitely call in advance and we can try to accommodate.
But
But
that's.
this vote is to just say whether they're a club or not.
Correct, yeah.
After that, may the force be with you. We want to, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Totally get it. Totally get it. I used
A
to
little
work,
bit more after master planning.
I was in a club in Maryland, and worked in an office building, same kind of thing. We had to look for space and, yeah, totally get it. Totally get it.
if you're looking for a motion to approve them
Yes.
as a club, I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
I
Unanimous for Toastmasters? Your club.
Okay, so what I could do, since Jimmy is really the point of contact, but he couldn't be, he's a resident of Celebration, he couldn't be here. Should I leave it to him to be in contact in terms of?
So I'll be reaching out to
Reaching
Jimmy
out to
after this
him.
meeting, absolutely.
Okay,
I'll get in touch with
perfect.
him.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thanks so much for
Thank you, Joe.
participating.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Our next club request is for Peace River Valley Society of Children of the American Revolution. This is also to be a club. This is on a seasonal basis. They are asking for Heritage Hall. And what dates do you need a facility? They are unsure. They are still figuring that out. This is a civic and service group. It's different. But different than a club? No, it falls under club. Okay. Yep, civic. Okay, so they fall under club. I will open it up for any discussion for Peace River Valley.
What do they do?
They are a national society of the children of the American Revolution, training on good citizens, developing leaders, promote love of the USA and its heritage amongst young people. So
Their main club is the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes.
This is just the
I was gonna say, we didn't have a affiliation.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of the same song, second verse. I don't mind them being the club. I just don't know that we can accommodate.
So this application is vehicle.
first
application to be a club. It's legit.
Yeah. As long as they, they understand that it's limited.
Big space and not something else.
Maybe the first speaker.
So
So,
it's a DAR.
right. Tony, any comments?
Only the same
If I
ones that
had-
only the same ones that you make. I would echo your concerns.
Do I have a motion to approve Peace River Valley Society of the Children of the American Revolution as a club?
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. We have a proposal for Baby Otter Swim School. This is an infant aquatic proposal. We currently do, is this to be a club or a partner program?
This would be to be a recreational partner program. So I want to provide the proposal to you all for private swim lessons. My only concern is after reviewing this, it does conflict with the Celebration Cyclones. So what I would probably either recommend is continue as a recreational partner program, but just for infant survival lessons, because that is what we're missing for the aquatic programs.
But if I am Celebration Cyclones, I have concern that any teacher could be teaching a lesson and say I'm Celebration Cyclone. It would be very hard for a resident to determine who is who. And again, I'm only sensitive to this because we hear this in the gym with trainers. We hear this at the tennis courts on who is with what program and are you allowed, but you're not. We just, I have reservation on it being a slippery slope. That being said, I really do want a program for infants to learn how to swim. I think it's important that my kiddos in it when they were little. I think you live in Florida, I feel like it should be mandatory. You have the baby, you go through. I mean, that's my personal feeling, but I do worry about the conflict of interest.
Can we stipulate that adults would not be participating in this? Let's say adults.
So this would just be for TKR. Everything else, 1 through adult Cyclones offer, is that correct, Nikki?
Correct, yeah, they do basically, group lessons for children. But I know Baby Otter Swim School does lessons for infants, survival lessons, and that's what we are missing. I did notify Baby Otter Swim School. We already have a conflict of interest with certain items on here, but I would still bring it to the Recreation Committee, at least for the infant level. We used to partner with Celebration of Littlefins, but they're no longer with us right now.
We did have some.
So we did have somebody, so we are missing that.
Okay.
And I know there was a few Island Village residents that reached out about this program.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Island Village is the perfect space.
Yeah.
For young children. We have 0 entry. It's not that deep. Parents can stand and still take care of their children. I'm concerned about the frequency. How often can this be done?
Right.
Time. Right now with this weather, I know I'm in the pool every day. And I'm willing to share. I'm so willing to share. I think it's a very important skill for infants to have. But if they're gonna take up 4 hours a day and utilize the pool 5 days a week, how do you have a problem with that?
Yeah.
That's one day, that's what I was thinking about seeing that.
So I think,
Patient, about 5 days a week.
yeah, I think so according to what you guys are saying is for turn, kick, reach with parameters around it. No more than X amount of hours. a week.
Yeah,
And you can also do this like as a trial, just to see if there's anyone that is interested in this program, whether you do a 3-month, 6-month trial. And then we can have the representative come back and present from the rec committee of how well it went, but you could put parameters around of like no more than three days a week. I know with
more than
survival,
an hour.
more than an hour, survival lessons are usually no more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I'm even good up between beginning the TKR through level 1 beginning strokes.
Level 1 though is a.
Is
It would.
Then just the first 2. That would be fine, even if it was 5 days a week, an hour, because the pool is usually pretty empty prior to 11 a.m. You know, that's why I try to get over there at 9.
I think you would have to have some after working hours. You're gonna have some working
Yes.
parents that will still want this for their child right after school.
And during the week, it's not too bad either, around dinner time.
Yeah. Thoughts on number of hours a week?
Well, I guess with all the discussion, which I think is all rich, and I think we all agree that we want this sort of thing for our kids. But how long would it take to define precisely what you were just saying a moment ago, right? What the actual proposal is that we would be agreeing to, maybe a period of time, number of hours, the type of program, and limit it, and then we would have a follow-up in 3 months for them to come and present. Could that be spelled out prior to us taking a vote? Or
Yes, we will. We will. We're just trying to get a consensus of what the number of hours everybody's comfortable with. But I would say that the motion would say the class, the number of hours per week, the trial period with a start and end date, and doing it specifically to this TKR. So yeah, I think we would cover all those things. The question is how many hours? And I would say, I would be fine with me personally, them choosing their hours. If we say you get 7 hours a week, it could be 4 hours after work and 3 hours during the day, based on what the need is. I mean, we want to try and accommodate as many kids as possible. The kids are going to be relying on what mom and dad's schedule looks like.
And I don't think they last more than 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Per session.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if we said an hour, to say an hour a day, you can have 2 classes.
Correct, yeah. Correct.
That
So
would also
Monday
have
through
the-
Friday.
The parking as well. And how many participants there are.
So do I have a motion to approve Baby Otter Swim School for their turn, kick, reach program only? That would allow 5 hours per week, Monday through Friday, the hours to be submitted to Grand Manners on when those hours would be. And then, this would be a trial period that would be 3 months. So it also has to be approved by CROA. So ideally it'd be the CROA meeting in September. So that would be, October, November, December, which are cooler months. So,
Say the same. thing.
yeah, so
And then the pool is not heated.
that covers, and this is for the Island Village pool.
Well, there was Island Village residents that expressed interest in this. This also could be at Lakeside,
Okay.
depending on weather conditions, but that pool is heated as well as.
Yeah, I would-
But maybe then like, if it continues, maybe half of the year and half of the year, you know, split it up so that their bodies are not frozen.
yeah, and the moms that get in with it. Yeah. All right, do I have a motion to approve Baby Otter Swim School Monday through Friday, 5 hours a week? To be October, November, December trial period to submit as a part of the program. And we will ask to speak with them after 3 months to see how it went, what do they need, and we will react accordingly.
could we modify from 5 to 7? 5 seems like a real small number for them to manage. Hours, I mean, should it be 7?
Thoughts, get to 7 hours a week?
I think we should start
I
with
think we said 5 and then see how it goes. That's all we're thinking.
the
So,
amount of participants.
Okay, so we will take a vote at 5 hours and then accordingly we'll adjust to 7 if based on the vote. Do I have a motion to accept it at 5 hours?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, based on 5 hours, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed? Aye, okay, unanimous. The last thing on our agenda for action items before we move to discussion for members is an upcoming workshop date. The purpose of this workshop is the year of workshops, is to review recreational contracts. So we will be looking at the contracts that are with our partner programs, correct? Anybody else?
So our goal is we only have contracts with our recreational partner programs. Moving forward, I would like to see contracts with civic and service groups as well as clubs. They only just signed an application, but moving forward, I'd like to have them have the scope of work like every other recreational contract has.
Including educational group?
Correct, yes.
So basically, if they
So
have
the
a
groups
number
that-
in the registration form that they fit under, we would put together a type of contract. Length based on what they're signing up for. So it'll be a workshop to review those. In the past, those were sent out to us and we handled it. Well, at the time we just did partner programs, but I would suggest that we do it group by group. So this workshop will discuss partner programs. Next workshop will discuss, maybe we could put clubs and education group together pending and go through it that way. So that would be the September meeting. We're in August, right? This would be September. And if possible, Lindsay has asked for a Tuesday evening based on her work schedule. How do we feel about Tuesday evenings?
That's fine with me. I'm just no good on the 10th.
Okay. Tuesday, September 17th workshop. Any concerns? Tony, how's the 17th look for you?
I'm looking as we speak. 17th of September looks clear. No speeches that day.
All right, we're gonna aim for Tuesday, September 17th, 5:30 PM for the workshop to start digging into contracts.
And as the name implies, since it's the recreational workshop, we're gonna have fun, right? Because it's the recreational workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm gonna move on to discussion and open up the floor for member comments. Mike, what do you got?
I don't know where we are with the last workshop we had in June, was it, with the guest passes, residents per residents, is that going to Crow for a vote or? Remember we talked about it, you can get 4 guests per pass.
Right, she was following almost the Disney model, right? That every address would have X number of guest passes per address, not per person. With the idea, thinking if I'm a family of 4 right now, I can bring 4 people. We can invite 16 people with us to the pool rather than my address and being able to invite 4 people. The other perk to that being that I can take my girlfriend to the pool and we can sit there and chat while my son takes a buddy to the tennis court and plays tennis. It allows the address to do that. We can
But that would,
shopsmith that for a little bit before, we'll give ourselves a 15-minute cutoff. And then we can talk that. I know there was a part B of that as to how it works with lifestyle and events. Is there a different set of rules for that? Is there only a different set of rules at certain events, but not all? So I would say that we could propose what we think overall, and then the CROA board could take that to events from there. I'm not sure I'm comfortable. I don't know enough to say. So
We did mention that by September, we would come back to the community with proposed solutions.
Okay.
Because I was at a workshop, so in September, if everyone's available on September 24th, we can actually have a meeting that night and make those recommendations.
I'm on a business.
Oh, business, sure, okay.
Could we do a 2-hour meeting instead of a 90-minute meeting on the 17th?
yeah, maybe just.
Okay with that, if everyone else was.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
here.
But let's do 2 hours on the 17th and do the first 30 minutes depending. To try and knock that out, because I think we have a pretty good grasp overall.
I think so.
We just need to chat GPT it.
Could I ask that whatever emails are being sent out, and sometimes it seems consistently that it's not happening consistently, that please include my alopez@legacyleader.net email as well as my celebration email. So I know I missed a meeting and it's my fault, but it's because it's not hitting my regular email and then it doesn't hit my calendar.
No, you got it. I'll add you on the rec.
Thanks.
Committee. You got it.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
In terms of the enforcement that we're talking about, park monitors, that's something we'll discuss at that meeting too.
So at the last meeting, it was brought up in a joint meeting with, again, the lifestyle and events. We had someone from finance here, we had Lauren here, and we discussed through what both committee thought they needed to be successful. And so the recreation committee brought what from that prior workshop of what the residents came and what had the most Post-its. And that came up with a monitor. And in that meeting, we discussed what we thought from a budget point of view, how many monitors at what time based on the season, more monitors in the summer because the pools are crazy versus the winter. What does a lakeside monitor look like? That is basketball, pool, and tennis. Do we take monitors by section? Like someone would handle Island Village and this Heritage Hall pool, and someone else would handle that. So we did that. It was presented to the finance committee because there's a large dollar sign that goes with it. And then they come back to us if they have questions. But at this point, it's kind of in the hands of the board to say, yeah, we like your idea, or we like your idea, we have money for it. You ask for 3, you get 2, whatever it ends up being.
We also talked about security cameras.
Yeah, we talked about the technology piece of it and what that looked like.
Can you give a timeline when you get back?
It will be in the new budget.
The new budget.
That's what the time.
Okay.
The other piece of it was discussed of whether it was lifeguards versus park monitors and what that looked like from insurance point of view. If I'm correct, I think Charles was looking into that, but I'm not 100% positive of that. And that's where we ended on that.
Okay.
And then at the same time, Lifestyle talked about what they thought they needed for their events and how those budgets work, and they presented 2. And then they also agreed that they use those park monitors that we're asking for. So that was part of the conversation that went to finance.
Got it.
Yeah, is that all true? Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Charles.
Sorry.
Detailed.
That's what that was a long combo.
Okay.
Larry, what you got?
Nothing so far. I saw basic, like to mention for the IDs for the October soiree. I don't know if you have seen that it's only 2, and then the other people have to pay $10. So that may give us like,
It said the president.
yes,
Yeah.
where to start. And all of the friends that I have got, they are okay with that.
Okay.
Like, they're not like, why do I have to pay to, it's like,
It's not
Yeah.
unreasonable.
no. So that could help us deciding that.
And I hope too that ideally it would help events committee members. But I can't imagine, it looks like you're in preference. So I hope that helps with numbers for them too.
And it's Halloween, it's a big one, so
It's a big one. Yeah, the fun one. They do a great job. Yep. All right, you're good. Tony, what you got?
Nada.
All right, we will see everybody September 17th, where we're gonna have fun for 2 hours. And that's like, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, second, Tony, all those in favor? Another union.
See you later, guys. Take care.
It's not always that way. And 11 minutes early.
Yeah. I wish Toastmasters were gonna give us